Kylie Minogue's long-awaited 16 studio album, Tension, is finally here, and I have been utterly obsessed. This album had a lot of hype going into it, thanks to the huge success of Padam Padam, which became one of her biggest hits in years. That song has not gotten old to me yet. It's probably my most played song of the year, and I'm literally not tired of it. It's crazy. But as for the album itself, Kylie understood the assignment. She understood what needed to be done, and she gave us a tight, immaculately produced dance album. Tension draws a lot of inspiration from 80s synthpop, 90s house and dance music, and disco. Apparently, when the album was first being made, it was going to lean way more into the 80s inspiration, but she ended up going in a few different directions. And you could still hear that huge 80s synthpop influence, especially on songs like Things We Do for Love, You Still Get Me High, and Story. I won't lie, I've kind of been over 80s sounding music for a while now. I feel like every artist has done it, and it's like really tired at this point, but I actually really like Kylie's take on it. She gets what made 80s music so great. It was the sense of scope and grandness, and these songs with their bombastic choruses and fast-paced techno beats managed to sound like a fresh update on a throwback sound. And speaking of throwback sounds, it's cool to hear her take on late 90s, early 2000s Eurodance on tracks like Vegas High and the title track, since Kylie herself was one of the faces of that genre. Vegas High specifically, I could totally picture that song being on Fever. I feel like it would fit pretty comfortably on there. And that is a very high compliment coming from me, because Fever is one of my all-time favorites, so Vegas High is definitely one of my favorite tracks here. Another highlight for me is Hands, which features Kylie rapping a little bit. I don't think she's rapped in a song like this since Secret from Body Language, so this is pretty rare for her, and I love it. It is so cute. Hands is seriously such a fun song to sing along with. It's so playful and silly, and a definite highlight for me. Meanwhile, the songs One More Time and Green Light sound like they could have came from her last album, Disco. They're a little bit funkier, a little bit jazzier, and I think they're great chiller moments between the really heavy dance tracks. They give some breathing room for the album to slow down a little, but they still keep the energy up. It's not like they're actually slow songs or anything. Really, Tension doesn't have any slow songs, but it still can be emotional, and that's something Kylie does really well. She knows that the best dance songs are the ones that can make you feel something, and I think the songs Just Imagine, You Still Get Me High, and Somebody to Love are specifically great at that. There's this euphoric bliss to them, and Kylie's emotional vocals elevate them beyond just being fun dance tracks. Somebody to Love especially is a very sweet, sentimental song lyrically, so that's totally one I'll be crying to in the future. I also have to shout out the bonus track, Love Train. That song is so cute. I love the upbeat production. It kind of sounds toy-like. Like it reminds me of a xylophone that you were playing the first grade or something, I don't know. Add this to the list of Kylie branded transportation. She had KM Air and the Love Boat from Light Years, and now we have a Love Train. Next we need a Love Car, a Love Scooter, and a Love Bicycle, and we'll be all set. Also, the first verse has a Super Mario reference, and as a Mario stan, I am very happy. Love Train is an adorable bop. Overall, I think what I like most about this album is that it feels like a celebration of just living in the moment. Hold On to Now specifically is about that, and I think that song works as the thesis for this album. It's about savoring the moments that you're in, despite how fleeting it is, despite whatever else is happening around you, and really that sums up the spirit of Tension. It's the second song too, and I feel like that was very intentional, since it sets the tone for the rest of it. Tension doesn't really have a theme tying everything together, which Kylie said she did purposely. Like sure, you could lump some of the songs together as either 80s throwbacks or 90s 2000s Eurodance throwbacks or disco throwbacks, but really Tension is a grab bag of a lot of different genres, all put together very intentionally. I truly don't think there's any filler here. Every song feels like it belongs, and they all stand out from each other. Every single one has something about it that gives it its own character, whether it's her rapping in Hands, or the robotic vocals of the title track, or the jazziness of One More Time. Each song contributes its own thing and represents the different facets of Kylie. She's not an artist who just does one specific sound. She draws from a lot of different sources, and Tension feels like a goodie bag of all the different genres that she does best. I love it so much. I better be hearing some of these songs when I go out. I will absolutely lose my mind if I hear Vegas High. I need that song played for me. Since it's only been less than a week, I don't know where I'd rank this among all of Kylie's albums yet, but I am really loving it, and I totally see this being an album that I'll be listening to even years from now. Let me know what you guys think of it, and I will see you next time.